welcome to the Billion Boys. Or is that what we're deciding to call ourselves?
Yeah, Billion Boys Podcast.
Alright, yeah. We got that out of the way. Perfect.
Alright.
Yeah, so we're the Billion Boys, and this is our first ever episode. And
Number one.
So this is, might be a little bit of this, up and down all over the place, but yeah, let's just start off with what we're doing.
Yep. So
We're starting a podcast.
We're starting a podcast. We just did that about 15 seconds ago.
Yeah, we literally just hit record for the first time. So
Never had any podcast experience. We have no idea what we're doing. We downloaded Audacity, so we're making it happen.
we are. So let's talk a little bit about, why we call ourselves the Billion Boys, and then we can get into everything else.
Alright, good idea. So basically, we want to impact 1 billion people.
1 billion.
1 billion.
10 figures. Not 9, 10 figures.
Yeah,
That's
a
insane.
10-figure number. That's
This many figures.
1/7 of the population.
That's ridiculous.
I failed math, but I think that's like 14% of the population of the world, not the population of Maryland. I'm talking about Earth.
Earth. That's just an astronomically huge number.
It's insane, but that's
Why?
our goal. And
Why? Why?
Why?
Yeah.
Because we want everybody to push themselves to become basically the best version of themselves.
Oh yeah, that sounds exactly like what we're doing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I think that is what we're doing.
that is exactly what we're doing.
We're doing that because we want everybody. This is gonna sound corny, dude. We want everybody to follow their dreams.
It does sound corny, but
It sounds like something straight out of a Disney movie, but
it does.
I mean, if everyone did that, take a minute and think about it. If everyone followed their dreams, did what they want to do, and they actually accomplished that, I feel like we would be living.
Everybody would be living like Jeff Bezos.
We would be living in 2050, dude. At least.
That would be, wow, that's incredible. But yeah, so we want to impact 1 billion people, and the reason we want to do that is just like what he said. Now, another one of our goals, and the other reason we're called the Billion Boys, is because we want to make $1 billion, and we each want to be
$1 billion.
billionaires. Not like Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos has too many billions, but just one, I'll be fine.
Yeah, we're not asking for much here.
Yeah, we're not asking for much.
We're
Just
not
like $1
asking
billion.
for Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk money. We're just asking for $1 billion.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but really, the reason we set that goal so high is because we would rather come short on $1 billion than completely overshoot a number that was too low.
That's so true. And $1 billion just sounds pretty cool.
Sounds awesome,
It
dude.
sounds awesome. I want to be a billionaire. That sounds great.
Billionaire.
That's insane. But overall, we're just, what we want you to understand is we're not here to sit here and tell you that we piss excellence and we're just like superhumans in any way. We're just,
Yeah. That's the main thing. We're not any different than you guys. We're working with the same 24 hours, same 7 days a week. And we're basically here to tell you guys that we're not any different. And if we can achieve these things, then you can as well.
and that's the entire point of this podcast is just, we have a dream of going after 1 billion people and becoming billionaires. And this is our first step. We're just starting this journey. And so the whole podcast is going to be about this journey that we're just now embarking on. And so that's a little bit about that. Now, one thing that we probably should have done a little while ago is introduce ourselves.
Yeah, they're probably wondering who the heck these 2 kids are talking to them.
That would be... We're going to go ahead and answer that for them.
Yeah, so I'll actually start. So my name is Rocco Geis. I am 19, studying computer science at ICC, just a regular community college. And I have 2 jobs. One is an internship for a Fortune 500 tech company, and the other is a direct sales position at a $250 million marketing company. Not to flex.
Yeah, not to flex.
Not to
or
flex,
anything.
but... And then I also have a bunch of side hobbies, which I'll go over
Probably in a later podcast.
probably later. Yeah.
And I am Winston Essig. I'm 18 and I'm studying at the same exact college. We call it Harvard on the Hill. It's nowhere near Harvard,
Furthest thing you can get from Harvard.
literally, but that's where I'm studying some finance and accounting. And yeah, I'm working at the same like Vector Marketing, the whole company that he's working at, and we're doing some direct sales, and so that's kind of more my forte than his. But yeah, that's a little bit about what we're doing right now. But let's rewind a little ways.
It's around a little bit, like 3 years.
Yeah, 3 years about. That's crazy.
Holy.
That's insane.
Doesn't feel like 3 years. So, How I Met Your Mother. Basically, long time ago, 2018, summer 2018, this kid, I see him driving around in a basically brand new Mercedes-Benz.
It's true.
And I'm thinking, how is this kid doing this? Like, we both just got our licenses. I'm driving a 1999 Jeep Grand Cherokee. How is this kid driving this?
A little bit of daddy's money. I'm not even going to lie on that one.
Yeah, no, spoiler alert on that. But, yeah, we both end up going to school one day. That's a shocker, no. We both end up going to school late because, that's the only way we ever came to school.
That's true.
And we happened to come there at the
exact same time.
Yeah, we pull up. I see this kid, and I'm like, all right, I got to talk to him. So I go up to him, talk to him about his car. We start talking about cars, hit it off, and eventually invites me to a Cars and Coffee meet. So we go there.
We tried to go there.
Yeah.
And wasn't there.
No.
They just were like, yeah, we're not doing it today. So then we were like, let's go grab a bite to eat. That's the only thing you can do in the town we're from because it's about that big. And yeah, and I was like, this kid's pretty cool. Let's hang out. And so we started hanging out. That kind of kicked off, like that was a school year leading into, like the summer of 2018. It was just right there at the end of the year. And that's just kind of how we kicked off the summer of 2018 was, our new friendship and just like hanging out with all of our new friend group and all that kind of stuff.
Yep. And just a little bit of background. I came from a middle class family, and Winston was,
I would say
upper.
Mid to upper class.
Yeah. It's middle upper to upper, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was driving a 2016 Mercedes at the time, so like
Yeah.
that gives you a little bit of background on where I was at.
Yeah, and it's not like we live in Chicago or anything. We're from town in the middle of nowhere where that type of stuff doesn't usually happen.
No, not at all. I was definitely no one was driving a car near like mine, and that probably wasn't the best thing for me, but at the same time I didn't care. I was 16 driving a brand new Mercedes.
No complaints there. So, yeah, we grew really close, hung out a bunch during that summer, and then afterwards, we kind of started doing our own thing, and then we both sort of had a coming of age moment during those next couple years, and it really kind of defined our values today, and it was a huge shift. And
it was just a turning point.
It was a huge shift in everything, what we believed in, what our goals were, what our dreams were, what we were trying to accomplish, and basically why we wanted to start doing business together. So I guess I'll start with mine. So I used to work as a lifeguard for a local rec center and also a country club. So I would go in there, and honestly, working at an indoor pool, most of the time there's not a lot to do besides watching old ladies bounce around in the water.
No, I thought lifeguarding was the most exciting job in the world.
No.
Yeah,
Never.
I can see that.
I didn't even have to jump in. Only 3 people drowned. I'm joking. but yeah, no, so sometimes there'd be no one in the pool. I'd be just watching water. And when you do that, you really have nothing else to do except think, you know? I'd be daydreaming about stuff. I'd be thinking about, man, what would happen if I just won the lottery? Just instantly got $1 million, what would I do with it? And you'd use those thoughts to entertain yourself. And I started thinking more realistically, stuff that pertained to my actual life, like, man, what would happen if I had a car like Winston's? And then further and further, I started thinking, like, what would I have to do to get to that? And that was a big change. Instead of thinking, what if I had, I started thinking, how do I get?
It's a huge, like, I just want to point that out. Like, when you go from, I want this, to how can I afford this, it's just like an entire, it shuts down your brain saying the first one. Saying, you know, I'm never going to be able to afford that, but I want it. Your brain just shuts down. And it just wonders about how you would feel if you had that. But when you say, how do I afford that, it actually puts your brain into gear and starts thinking exactly that. How do I get there?
Yeah.
And so that's a huge thing that I just wanted to point out. It's just like,
It sounds super basic. Like, I said it like a caveman. Fast car, a lot of money. But that's really all you got to do is think, like, what steps do I have to take? And once you can start laying that out and get a decent idea, it'll start coming to you. Like, the ideas will start flowing in, and it's really just, it's a life changer right there. So that's exactly what I did. I started thinking, all right, I got to increase my wages because $9 an hour.
lifeguard wasn't cutting it.
$9 an hour ain't cutting it. That's not quite doing it. So I started looking for more opportunities. I was in school one day, and my teachers were talking about this opportunity at this Fortune 500 company for an internship. And I said, oh, internship? It's probably not even paid. Why would I waste my time there? And then I found out that they were paying me $12 an hour.
Oh, little step up there.
That's a little step up from $9 an hour. So I was like, you know what? What do I have to lose? I applied for it. You need programming experience. All I had was 1 semester of high school programming, which taught me nothing. So I pretty much had to use YouTube to figure out all my knowledge for that. But somehow I got an interview for that, and I went in, and the whole time there I was thinking, like, what if I don't get this? I'm not going to be able to answer these questions. Just doubt, worst case scenario going through my head. And then I just started thinking, like, if I don't do this, there's no chance I'm going to get it. So I might as well just go out swinging. So I go in there, kill the interview, even though I was sweating bullets the entire time. Pretty sure I had to change my pants halfway through. But I managed to get out of there alive, and a couple weeks later I get a call back, and they offered me a position. And I declined it. No, I'm playing. I took that. I took that in a heartbeat. I remember I got the call during lunch, went straight to the bathroom, and I came out of lunch with a big smile on my face. Everyone could tell. So, yeah, that's really what kicked it off. And once I got in there, it was a corporate job. I never worked anywhere besides a pool before, so I wasn't really used to that. You had to wear business casual. You had to...
Couldn't wear flip-flops no more.
Yeah, no, it was a complete office setting, and it was a full-time job. Over the summer, I was working 40 hours a week. Over the summer, I ended up putting in 400 hours. And I was 17 at the time, so I've never worked like that before.
No one at 17 works that hard.
I didn't know I had that I didn't know I had that kind of work ethic in me, but somehow I pulled it off. And I noticed and learned a lot of things while I was there over that summer. That summer changed my life. So the first thing I noticed is that, I don't know if this is just me getting used to it, but if something felt wrong, it didn't feel like I was supposed to be there, because I would go throughout the halls and I would realize that there's nobody like me here. Like, sure, there were other interns, but they were all in college. I just graduated junior year. I was going into my senior year of high school. So I was the only I was the only minor in that building. I can guarantee that.
I'm sure you were.
So, yeah, my coworkers, late 20s, 30s, 40s. One dude even looked like my grandpa. So it was a lot different than what I'm used to. But I started realizing that if I'm doing this now, and these people are doing it in their 20s, 30s, 40s, I might have some sort of a head start right now. And I need to figure out how I can take advantage of that. So I thought, like, all right, I'm going to work here for 5 years, graduate with 5 years of work experience, which is so important because that's what employers are looking for. Like, the degree gets you the interview, the experience gets you the job.
Degrees aren't much anymore.
Degrees are only half the story, not even. So
Exactly.
I was thinking, 5 years experience, this is great. Then a little something happened.
Called COVID.
COVID-19.
Still going on.
Still going on, yeah. I'm pretty sure we're still wearing masks.
Longest 2 weeks of my life.
It's really unbelievable. It's changed everything, flipped our entire world upside down. But
It really has.
yeah, it's really changed everything. I don't think anything's going to be the same.
I don't even want to go off on that side note, but I kind of want to go off on that side note because
Yeah.
it's just like, we'll save that for another one. But
Yeah, no, it's crazy. But yeah,
Insane.
no, that was a big reality check for me because before I thought, oh, I'm good. Like, there's nothing that can stop me right now. I'm getting these 5 years in. And then that happened, and I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know if my job was going to be stable. I didn't know how I was going to be able to do school. And I realized that job security is a myth, and nothing's guaranteed. Like,
So true.
even if you think something's guaranteed,
it's not.
something can happen that could blow your mind.
Unless you own the job yourself.
Even then, something crazy could happen.
Exactly.
Like, if I told you 5 years ago that a disease was going to come in and infect, literally shut down
Everyone.
everything. Yeah. Shut down everything and change the economy and everything as we know it.
I would have said you were insane.
Yeah.
100%.
Like, who would have been able to expect a pandemic to come through and trigger all sorts of stuff that hasn't happened in a long time? Like, it seriously messed up the economy. We had stock market bailouts, stimulus checks.
It was bad.
Bad. It still is pretty bad.
It honestly is.
But, yeah, no, it just made me realize that nothing's guaranteed. And if nothing's guaranteed, why would I chase something that I think's guaranteed when I can go for something better?
It's true.
So I appreciate what I have. I think that my job is great. And I think that there's nothing wrong with working a day job. I don't think there's nothing wrong with doing a 9 to 5. But I feel like there's a lot more room for growth if your money's working for you instead of you working for your money.
That's huge. I really like that. Now, meanwhile, Rocco's working 400 hours at this corporate job, and at the same time I'm failing pre-calc and history in high school, and not breaking a record for swim. So, basically, Rocco's always been like the good student. He's always gotten decent grades. Me, on the other hand, not so much. I basically I'd sit in class and I'd be researching something else while the teacher's sitting up there talking about polynomials. And I didn't care. Now, this did affect, my mindset and everything, and I just kind of thought, yeah, the average billionaire probably isn't failing pre-calc and history, and he's probably trying to do something a little bit more with his life.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't know what to do. And so I'm sitting here watching my friend work 400 hours, and I'm like, what do I care about? And at the time, it was all about swim. I was just about to get into swim season, and I was like, you know what? Let me give it my all. Like, I had never in my life given my all to anything. Like, all sports I played before then, I sucked at. I just never had gone after something. So I set my mind to it, and I said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to break that record. So I started working out. I started eating right, and the entire season goes by, junior year, and I didn't break the record. I was close, but I didn't break it. That's the point. And then next season comes around, and I'm like, oh, I got to break it this time. So I worked even harder, pushed myself to the limit. I was working like three practices a day. Finally smashed that record. Like, absolutely murdered it.
What was the record again?
It was like 103.8, and I went a 101.8.
For what event?
100 breast. So it was...
For you swimmers out there, you probably know that's something serious.
It was a quick time, I'm not even going to lie. Didn't make it a state or anything like that. Illinois got some just bullshit times, to be honest with you.
Michael Phelps Jr. out here.
Yeah, exactly. But that kind of led into, I tried really hard at one thing, and I did it. Like, that just blew my mind because I had never accomplished something that I had worked so hard for. I had just basically been handed everything my entire life. And I think it was during that time that something clicked, and I was just like, I've got to do something. And so I tried starting my own business. It didn't really pan out too well. I just couldn't stay motivated with it. It wasn't something that I really cared about. But then I realized, like, I got to get a job because that's what everybody else has. But at the same time, I wasn't about to go, work at Monocle's making pizzas.
Yeah.
Which, again, nothing wrong with if you work at Monocle's, like...
I love you. You make some awesome pizza.
You do make some amazing pizzas. But for me, I couldn't do it. That just wasn't who I was. And so one day Rocco calls me up and he's like, hey, bro, I got a job for you. I'm like, oh, God, what are we doing, Rocco? Selling knives. And that was it. And that's kind of just how it started. And that's where it's taken. And I've just grown really into personal development, just changing my mindset constantly, like focusing on what's ahead of me, always planning out my goals. Like, I have huge goals, and I intend to just shatter every single one of them, just like I did with that record. But you got to start somewhere, and that's where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is the first one, and then I guess somewhere along the way, we came back together, obviously, and we started a podcast, and that's kind of where we're at now.
Yeah, that kind of brings us back up to date.
Yeah, just about. And so we just realized there was opportunity here. There's a lot of kids not going to college right now.
Yeah.
And,
honestly, like record numbers for not going to college.
It's ridiculous. Like, there's so many people not going to college, and honestly, I applaud you. I don't want to be in college right now.
Especially online. I'm not built for online school.
Not at all. And so we just realized that there's a lot of people out there that need someone to believe in them, and they need someone to say, go after your dreams. And we're not going to sit here and tell you to follow your dreams if we're not even doing it.
Yeah. We wouldn't tell you to do something. We don't preach what we don't practice.
Exactly. That's the entire point of this podcast. It is literally our journeys, telling you what worked for us, and that's it. If it doesn't work for us, then we're not going to tell you about it. We're not going to...
We're your test subjects. We're your lab rats. We're testing things out for you to see if it works. When our goal for this podcast, we want to be 100% transparent with you. This isn't some scheme to get you into a multi-level marketing scheme or sell you something. Like, if we are selling you anything, it's going to be something that provides value to you, and any profit we make off of this podcast is going to go into making this podcast better.
Exactly. And right now we're recording with some shoe boxes as our tripod.
Yeah.
And not the craziest microphone.
$20 Amazon Prime microphone.
Exactly. So that's probably where our money's going to go at first.
Yeah.
And then beyond that, just personally developing, like, we're going to try out courses for you guys and all that kind of stuff, test them out and be like, hey, this was worth our time, this wasn't. So that, we test it out and then you can apply it in your lives. And then we're also going to, tell you about the habits that we're building and the different types of mindset things and the goals we have and all that kind of stuff. But overall, it's about us and you, our entire community. We don't want this podcast to just be us.
Yeah.
We want it to be everybody achieving their dreams.
Yep. So, I guess we should go over how we
intend to do this.
Yeah, how we intend to reach 1 billion people. So, I guess the first one is a podcast. And
yeah, I think we're literally doing that right now.
Then we can check that one off the list.
I don't even have a pen and paper, but
Yeah, they can't see that if they're not watching the video.
no, they're not. But anyway,
we're new to this podcast stuff. You can tell this is our first one. So
for sure. But
yeah, obviously we want to share a podcast because I feel like we can reach a lot of people like that, and if people have something to check into every week and if that's what they need to get their weekly dose of motivation, then perfect. We'll be able to provide that.
exactly.
And yeah, I mean, I guess other than that, networking.
Yeah.
Social media.
Just meeting people.
Person to person, yeah, exactly.
And, like, we want to bring people onto the show. We want to bring some of you onto the show. Like,
yeah, if you have something that's going to benefit everybody, basically every single show, every episode is going to have a specific topic.
It's going to be about someone or someone's life or something along the lines of what they do or a topic that we thought we should discuss.
Mm-hmm. Like something along those lines could be financial responsibilities, sales, mindset, business. Business is going to be where I'm only focusing on, but we're not just going to be focusing on financials. We're focusing on becoming the best version of ourselves. So
exactly.
Pretty much every aspect of life in general. And our goal with this is not to waste your time. It'd be a waste of our time to waste your time.
Exactly.
So even if this specific niche we're talking about doesn't
really
directly affect you, even if it doesn't vibe with you or completely affect you directly, you're still going to be able to pull something out of it, I promise you. That's our main goal for this.
Exactly. And we're going to cover topics from, financial responsibility, like you said, sales, the one life mentality, just mindset as a whole, just figuring out life. That's what this whole podcast is about.
I mean, I don't blame you if you don't want to listen to two 19-year-old kids talk about how they figured out life, because we sure haven't.
We definitely haven't.
We have.
But I think that's kind of the beauty in it. And that's what this podcast is doing. It's
documenting the process. I mean,
exactly.
It is about the journey, not the destination.
Exactly.
So
that's huge right there. That's exactly what our podcast is about, and that's what we're here to provide, is just the most value, so that when we figure out life, you figure out life with us. And I don't think we're ever going to figure out life entirely.
Figure out life. There's not like the answer is 42 or something.
Yeah, exactly. That would be pretty easy if they just gave us a problem, and once you've solved it, you just had life figured out.
Win life.
You just win life. Yeah, we're here to win life with you. No, but I mean, kind of. I mean, that's our goal, is to figure out life.
We all want to be winners.
Exactly.
We all want to be winners, and we want to make you guys winners. So, any feedback, positive or negative, mostly constructive, I mean, we'd appreciate any, because
for sure,
that's going to help us improve in pretty much every aspect. And I'm telling you right now, it can't get any worse than this. We're setting the bar right now, and right now it's low.
It's down here.
The bar's like, honestly, we might need a shovel to go get the bar, dude. It's underground.
We might, honestly.
So, yeah, I mean, expect improvement, and hold us accountable to that. Hold us accountable to that. If you think that we're slacking in some aspect, let us know.
Exactly. I mean, that's what we're all about. We want to create the community that's dependent on each other, and they all boost each other to be like, hey, right here you're slacking, but right here you're doing really good. And that's what this whole podcast is gunning towards, is creating a community of really awesome people all going after their dreams and helping each other go after their dreams. And so, yeah, that's
pretty much it.
That sums it up.
If you guys want to contact us, we have our email and social medias in the bio, probably.
Yeah, we're gonna toss them somewhere.
Yeah, we'll toss them somewhere. Yeah, you'll be able to find us. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Music, make sure to check out our YouTube, because that'll have the full video, as well as links to important stuff. We might be starting up a Patreon soon. It's work in progress. We really have no idea exactly what we're doing right now.
Yeah, we just decided to record one, and we were like, yeah, let's just do it.
Yeah. Got to start sometime.
Exactly. We'll figure it all out in the back end. So.
Yep. So yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll see you next time.
Catch you next time.